The world believed the Empire had fallen, that Aryan had won, that his traitorous wife, Sia, was buried in silence, locked away in a facility where no voice could rise. But silence can be dangerous, because in silence, seeds of vengeance grow. And Sia wasn't alone. The air inside Ashvini psychiatric facility was cold and sterile. Among its locked doors and quiet halls lay Sia, once a queen in stilettos, now a shell in hospital whites. Her eyes rarely opened. Her voice hadn't been heard in months. Nurses whispered about her being unresponsive, but one woman didn't believe the diagnosis. Her name was Dr. Reeva. She wasn't just a doctor. She was Sia's half-sister, born of the same father but a different, discarded mother. Reeva had never worn power on her sleeve like Sia. She wore precision. She wore silence. She had watched her sister rise, then fall. And now, she had come to resurrect her, or what remained. She stepped into Sia's ward, heels echoing against marble. She placed a hand gently on her sister's forehead and whispered, "They think you're broken, but I know you, Sia. You don't break. You calculate. And now, it's our turn." Sia's lips curled faintly, her eyes fluttered open. In the weeks that followed, Reeva worked in shadows. She operated behind shell companies, tapping into Sia's old foreign contacts. Blacklisted engineers, bitter ex-Virex contractors, abandoned investors from Dubai and Singapore. She formed Novaris Dynamics, a cybersecurity and AI firm that claimed to be a startup. On the surface, it had nothing to do with Sia, but behind closed doors, it was Sia's revenge vessel, piloted by her brilliant sister. While Aryan rebuilt his reputation, they rebuilt an army. They called it the Resurrection Network. Back at Virax Tower, Vivaan had grown. Now 13, he no longer needed bedtime stories. He was reading financial case studies, attending closed-door shareholder meetings with his father. Aryan was proud. Vivaan had inherited his calm. But something was changing. One night, Aryan noticed encrypted messages on Vivaan's private tablet. They weren't from friends. They were from a mentor named Dr. Ria, a name Aryan had never heard before. When Anil traced the IP address, his blood turned cold. Dubai, Novaris headquarters. Dr. Ria was Reeva Devanyan, was being mentally primed. Not to hate his father, but to question him. To wonder about the mother he'd never seen. To consider the truth as Aryan never told it. Vivaan's behavior changed. He grew more reserved, sharp with words, defensive. One night over dinner, he looked at Aryan and asked, "Why did you put Mom away?" Aryan stiffened. "Because she hurt us, Vivaan. She betrayed this family." Vivaan didn't nod. He didn't argue. He simply said, "Then let me see her. Let me decide." Aryan reluctantly arranged the visit. Sia was allowed to see her son under strict observation. When she saw Vivaan walk into that cold room, her posture changed. She sat straighter. Her eyes regained light. "You've grown," she whispered. "You have your father's patience, but you have my fire." Vivaan didn't hug her, but he didn't look away. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She simply said, "I didn't leave you. I was stolen from you. Ask yourself, what kind of man hides a mother from her son?" The words echoed in Vivaan's mind long after he left, while emotions stirred in Aryan's home. Novaris struck. A synchronized cyber attack hit Aryan's offshore accounts. 5 of his subsidiary companies froze for 72 hours. His stocks dipped. International headlines questioned Virex's security protocols. It wasn't meant to destroy him. It was meant to shake him. And it worked. Aryan summoned Anil and activated his counter-network. He traced Novaris's backers. Foreign crypto syndicates, banned German AI groups, and secret donors from Aryan's former enemy. Then, he delivered his own strike. He leaked fabricated emails from Novaris suggesting Reeva's involvement in AI weaponization. Interpol raided Novaris within a week. Reeva was arrested in Dubai. Aryan visited her in a holding cell, flanked by guards. She smirked as he entered, her eyes unafraid. "Congratulations. You played defense. But this is blood, Aryan, not business. Blood flows deeper. Blood poisons slower." Aryan leaned forward. "Vivaan isn't yours. He isn't hers. He's mine, and I'll protect him from your venom, even if it costs me his love." Reeva's smile widened. "That's where you're wrong. You can't kill a legacy, Aryan. You only delay it. And your son is watching us both." Weeks passed, the city recovered, Virex soared once more. But Vivaan had changed. He now carried both legacies in his veins. At school debates, he spoke with Sia's fire. At company meetings, he listened with Aryan's eyes. One evening, Aryan found a torn notebook in Vivaan's room. Inside, in the boy's handwriting, were two phrases. "Justice isn't revenge. Power doesn't always mean control." Aryan stared at those words. He didn't know which way his son would go. He only knew this: he had raised a king. But kings write their own rules. Back in her ward, Sia stared at the ceiling. Her lips curled. She had seen the footage, heard the whispers. Vivaan had walked away from Aryan during a board event, not in anger, in curiosity. "He's thinking," she whispered. Reeva, now out on bail and living under a new identity, stood beside her. "He's the future, Sia. All we need is patience." They smiled together.